Are we gonna get one tonight, boys?
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Goldstein, Stickers of the C.A.N Report, Nozzle Tov, everybody. I have a very special guest. Man, actually, all my guests are special, but this one is particularly special to me because he's an awesome dude. And he's, I never asked you in the beginning, are you related to, you're not related to Walt, are you?
No, probably somewhere down the line, but everybody's dead, so we can only trace it back so far.
You must get that a lot, by the way.
Yeah. I answered a lot different now, though, now that I'm older.
Good. So who I'm referring to is Louie Disney, the War Within, and we actually got to meet in person at FDIC, and we said, hey man, we need to talk. We need to see we need to let people know who you are, what your message is, and get you on the platform. So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing it. And it was an absolute pleasure meeting Mr. Disney in person, and we're going to talk about your journey in life.
Likewise, bro. Thanks.
Absolutely. So before we get into it, I always like to get a shout out to my sponsors. We have Engine House Designs LLC, Igniting the Pride, Cody Hill. He is a working firefighter out of Memphis, Tennessee. He makes hats, shirts, stickers, flags, coats. So if you got a business, you got a union, you got your own company, whatever it may be, he can do it for you. And he's actually very, very good at making these products. And he backs it with his pride and his respect for the job. So please visit Engine House Designs. He's also teamed up with the Kitchen Table Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization out of Arkansas, and they're helping first responders and military alike, helping people get resources or any help that they need. And so Engine House Designs makes all their swag for them, which is awesome. I love seeing that. I also have a new sponsor that I'm proud to say is Industrial Protection Services, and they're out of New England, a family-owned provider of firefighting equipment and safety solutions, headquartered in Salem, New Hampshire. IPS supports fire departments, municipalities, and industry leaders across New England with trusted products, services, and expertise. And so with that out of the way, we're going to get into my man's bio as well, because that's what we're here for. So we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of Mr. Louie Disney. So let's get this up here. Louie Disney is a 40-year-old veteran firefighter and EMT based in Colorado who believes that to be a truly effective first responder, you must be resilient and fully prepared for the demands of the job, both physically and mentally. With over 20 years of fire service experience across Kansas and Colorado, including wildland firefighting, Louie knows firsthand the heavy toll the profession takes. He is a survivor of severe depression and hardcore alcoholism. Whew, that's a tough one. Enduring years of blackouts before a devastating wake-up call forced a change. In 2013, Louie T-boned a car at 60 miles per hour on his Harley. Forced to learn how to walk again, he used that near-fatal crash as the hard cutoff to get sober. Now celebrating 13 years of sobriety, Louie is living proof that it's okay to not be okay. He channels his lived experience into his role as president of the board of NextRung, a nationwide nonprofit dedicated to providing 24/7 peer support and critical mental health resources to first responders and their families. And I love it, man, because I talk about NextRung all the time on my program. I'm always mentioning them at the end of my program to make sure people know that NextRung is a resource for everybody who is needing help. So Louie, man, thank you so much for being on the C.A.N Report.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So man, let's just get into it, dude. Like, that's some crazy journey you got going on. You know, you got a serious motor vehicle accident on your bike, and that could be a soul crushing experience. So, first off, why'd you get in the fire service?
I used to live in Kansas out in the country, and I was a volunteer firefighter. And back when I was trying to start sobering up, I remember going to a medical call to help this little girl that she got kicked off or bucked off a horse. And I remember putting her in the back of the ambulance and just like sending her on her way. And I was like, wow, I really want to help out people a lot more than just doing what I was doing at the time. I was doing construction, I was pouring concrete. That's when I was trying to sober up and stuff like that. So just being the volunteer firefighter doing grass fires and stuff like that, I thought that's all it was. And then I realized that helping people with like EMS and stuff like that, there's so much more to being a first responder than just the grass fires that I was doing. So I was like, man, I got to get into this full time. And that's when I started pursuing it a lot harder, basically.
Wow. So it's amazing how helping people can really make you go onto that journey. And it was like kind of the same thing for me. Like I always had this urge to help others. Even when I was a kid, I just loved to help people. And
Hmm.
I remember I had a kind of a harrowing experience where I had to save a woman from a car that went out of control. She passed out and she's in the parking lot and it's just literally going for a ride in the parking lot. And she had no idea what was going on. Stopped the car, made sure she was okay, and then I just took off. And the experience of it is that, man, that was crazy. I didn't stop to see if she was like, what's going on, but I was just like, that was exciting. It was exhilarating,
Yeah.
and to help somebody, So that really sparked me to want to continue on that journey.
Hmm.
So you said you were also trying to get to get over drinking. What led you to that? Because sometimes there's a history of it. Either it's a learned trait, family has a history of alcoholism, or something happened in your life that sparked this downward trend. Was it just like you were just like a party animal and you just couldn't stop, or did something spark that?
A little bit of both. It runs in my family. My uncle, he was a really bad alcoholic, and he poured concrete for a living too, before he passed away. And that's kind of who I saw myself growing up to be like. Like my dad was in the office basically for construction, but my uncle was the one that was doing hands-on pouring concrete like I was, and so it runs in the family. Um, but the biggest thing that really started was depression. I had a lot of depression kind of after high school and stuff like that that started dwindling me down a little bit. And then the social part of playing rugby for K State, it was okay to go out and drink a 30 pack, after a rugby game. But then, like, okay, you're doing that Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. And then it's like every night of the
Mm.
week, and then you're telling people you have a problem and they're like, "Oh, no, it's not that big a deal." Well, like I've got literally 4 beers in my hands and I got 2 in my back pocket and I got like 2 more in my jacket. It's a big deal, and
Yeah.
so just kind of a little bit of family and a little bit of the social stuff and depression. Depression was a big one. I drank to forget. That was my biggest thing.
What were you drinking to forget?
I was forgetting some of the depression, for drinking to forget the things that caused the depression. I was bullied a lot as I grew up. I was a short, little, fat white kid, uh, that was like one of the only white kids in my grade school till like fifth grade, and then we
Hmm.
switched schools, and I got bullied a lot, both physically and emotionally, and I never really kind of found my voice till I started getting older and stuff like that. So the alcohol was an escape to just numb and forget. So,
Hmm.
at the worst of it, it was about a 30 pack and a half a bottle a day that I would drink.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's it's interesting to say like you're drinking to forget about being bullied as a kid, and you were a small kid growing up. And because I was the same way. I was a tiny kid growing up, just always short. And I wasn't
Hmm.
heavy set, but I was just always the smallest kid. I was easy to get picked on, easy to get bullied. And then for me, it was a story of I finally had that Christmas story moment where my stepbrother was beating the piss out of me one day, and I just finally had enough, and I switched the roles, and I
Hmm.
literally went crazy on him. It was just like that story in the Christmas story, and I just was wailing on
Yeah.
him, and I blacked out and just making weird sounds as I'm beating the crap out of him. And ever since that day, I realized I can fight back.
That's
So
awesome.
and it's the same thing. Like I had that history. I never took to alcoholism, but I took to being a bully myself.
Hmm.
All the pain, all the anxiety, and all the crap that I had to deal with as a kid. And once I realized I can fight back, I then took advantage of that, and I would become the bully at school.
Uh, oh, really?
And yeah, and I think back, and I was kind of a shitty person, and um I was always felt like shit and felt like I didn't have enough. My family didn't have enough money. So I'd always get angry at the kids who had money, who had packed lunches, or their parents picked them up from school. And I had
Hmm.
animosity towards that. So I would bully them because of that. So,
Hmm.
but I never like, and then I started drinking when I was older as well. But I never got into the hardcore like you said. So when you
Mhm.
say you got into like you were really like a very, uh, hardcore alcoholic. Um, were there things like you woke up in the morning and you just don't even remember anything? There's just things in your house maybe broken, or things outside that are broken.
Um,
I call it
bro,
time warping.
yeah. Well, first off, I wanted to give a shout out to my mom. We're talking about being bullied and finding our voice and stuff like that. I had braces back when I was in 5th grade, and this kid was always picking on me, and he hit me in the mouth. And mom said, if he ever hits you, you hit back. You have permission. And
Hmm.
she's like, stand up for yourself. So I did. I hit him, made him cry, and I got not wasn't like suspended back in the day, but anyways, mom had to come get me, and we went and got ice cream. So I just wanted to give that like little bit
Nice.
of story.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out to moms for that one. That's
yeah,
awesome.
dude, seriously, I still love ice cream to this day. But no, so like the when it got real bad, the alcohol, bro, like I was watching NASCAR in Kansas, and like I would sober up those days because I would just sit there watching NASCAR and like either fall asleep and wake up, and then I'm like, all right, cool, and then I get up and I'm just kind of sober, and I was like, whoa. Okay, well, let's kind of take on the day. I would do laundry, take care of the place, and I would always go to the fridge to go get groceries and stuff. And I'm like, why is my milk curdled? During the week, I was eating cereal with beer. I would have
Oh.
warm Budweiser in my beer. I did that for like a month because like I heard somebody did it, and I tried it, and it worked because my milk was always curdled. But like it was disgusting, but it worked, and I was able to eat. And then one of the biggest things was when I poured concrete, I would set the forms. I was a laborer, so I'd help set the forms, and we'd strip the forms and all this stuff. We'd build. I built this wall that was like 45 foot tall, 60 foot long, and I remember building it. And then like I come back over the weekend, and I go back to work, and there's a whole nother wall built and stripped. I'm like, who did that? Who came in and poured that like over the weekend? And they're like, we did that, last Friday or something like that. I was like, I have no recollection. And there's an elevator pit that was another 40 foot down. So like one side was 40 foot, the other was 80. So like I was doing some really sketchy stuff, blacked out, and
Mm,
I don't even remember any of it.
wow. And then,
Yeah.
so fast forward to the accident,
Mhm.
because that's got to be a crazy ass experience right there. So what was going on for that day?
I went to go pick up a friend that I met the night before just for a little joyride. We went cruising out in the country, a little 2-lane blacktop outside Lawrence, Kansas, and there's a low visibility hill. I remember slowing down because I had somebody on the back, and I was like, I'm just gonna take it easy over the hill. I go over the hill. As soon as I crest it, some guy pulled out in front of me, or they rolled a stop sign, did a U-turn, and then so I remember seeing that, and like how they say when you're in an accident, like life slows down, everything just goes slow mo. I remember seeing him turn again and do a U-turn in front of me, and I cranked the throttle to go around him, and I saw his driver's side tire turn in front of me, and I remember having that split second to roll my thumbs because my uncle, who was the alcoholic, it was his motorcycle. He said, if you ever get in an accident, roll your thumbs, or else you're going to break your wrists and break your arms and everything. So I rolled my thumbs and I slammed down on the hood. I was just to the left of the A post, and I slammed down on the hood. We spun the car 180. I flew about, 85 feet ish, and she flew probably about 100 feet, and just laying there in the ditch. And it was like helpless,
Yeah.
and she was laying up on the pavement. I couldn't get to her. I tried. I couldn't move. No helmet, no leathers, just Wranglers and cowboy boots, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Were you in the fire service at that time?
Yeah, I was a volunteer. I was on a combination department, so I was a full-time firefighter at this combination department, and I was just like on my 4 day that weekend. And so right as soon as I wreck, I remember I was like, okay, it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The guys should be here pretty quick. So then next thing you know, they would start coming up in their POVs, and they go, "Oh man, Louie," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right, like help me out," and then like, "Oh man, Louie, okay, yeah, help me out." Like they would just
Yeah,
keep coming
yeah,
up and
yeah. Stop
like,
asking that
"Yeah,
question
guys,
and give me some help.
guys, it's me. Like let's move. Come on." Yeah.
And how was the passenger?
She broke her femur, and the sheriff was up there. I told him I was fine, which I wasn't. She was kind of crying and in pain, so I told the sheriff when he got on scene, I was like, "Go help her out," and he's like, "Okay." And so I remember laying in the ditch, and I was kind of like sideways, and I remember like I checked my body, I checked my face, my head, and like everything. I was like, "All right, I'm not bleeding. I barely had any road rash. It's just my waist was really warm from hitting that the hood." And then so I couldn't move my right leg, but I was able to grab the grass and position myself so my head was up, because all I was thinking was like they got to get a spine board underneath me, and I'm laying sideways in the ditch, so I moved myself, which was probably not a good idea, but just trying to help myself out.
Hmm.
Uh, it was it was a nice summer day, but not in that ditch.
Yeah, bro. So obviously, so no drinking involved with it. It's just a shit timing of that car coming out, and you said you were going 60 miles an hour, and you just couldn't get around it.
Yeah, I've been sober. I was probably sober for um a about a year and a half. I mean, I was sober for a little while. I mean, I go out and have a drink here and there, but not really.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, when I had a souped up Harley, so once I saw that or the car come in front of me, I just cracked that throttle, and it didn't do a wheelie, but it took off, and I was going 60 for sure, and just slammed into that car.
So you in the rest of your bio, you talk about that you had, like a physical toll of the accident as well, and you had some intense battles with that, and you started getting addicted to painkillers. So you're a recovering alcoholic, and now you're addicted to painkillers. So what was that battle like?
Bro, that was pretty intense because like the drinking, you drink a 30 pack, you're gonna get full, you get all bloated because you're like you got a full belly, and then
Yeah.
all this stuff. Like I mean, just drinking, whatever. The whole I was bedridden for a good month and a half, 2 months. Like, dude, it sucked. I couldn't even get out of bed for a good month. I couldn't
Well,
even
what were
bend.
your injuries?
Oh, um I shattered my acetabula, so my right hip. Basically, I shoved my femur head out the backside of my hip. It
Oof.
didn't break my femur or anything. So when I got to the hospital, they basically filleted me open, took all the parts out of my hip, put them all back together with some plumber's tape, and screwed that into me. So I got like a plumber strip and 9 screws in my right hip. So
Damn.
yeah, they were like, "Well, we could give you a new hip," and obviously, I don't remember any of this. They're like, "You could get a
Yeah.
new hip, or you're young enough that we can just go ahead and do this." And I was like, "Cool, whatever." So after I got rebuilt and I moved home, I lived with my parents, so for like just to recover and stuff like that. And I was laying in bed, and for like the first couple weeks, I couldn't even sit up. It was like the first 30 days, I couldn't go over 90 degrees at my hip, so I couldn't even touch my foot or anything like that. It
Wow.
was just yeah, bedridden and pain meds. Lots of pain meds.
So, how did you start? Like, were you taking the pain meds obviously out of the hospital now? You were just getting like hooked to the feeling of being numb?
Yeah, so, like, back when I drank, it was drinking to forget and to be numb, like, numb to the situation or numb to my environment is kinda why I drank. So then now taking the painkillers, my mom would just be like, "Oh, it's 1 o'clock, time for your pain meds," and she'd bring them in, and, like, we did this whole thing where it was, like, pain med, Tylenol, pain med, or try to stretch it out as much as possible. But anyway, so, like, I started really fiending for the pain meds and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, like, if if it went more than, like, 5 minutes, I couldn't stand being without it.
Hmm.
Like, it wasn't just masking the pain, it was numbing myself all over again. So, it was like having a whole whole 'nother addiction while I'm just laying in bed.
Yeah.
And then, like, we would have anytime I so we had, like, extra pain meds that I would take during we'd like go to Costco and stuff like that to go get groceries, dude. And I would just start taking pain meds just to get through the event or get through the trip and stuff like that because
Yeah.
the pain was so bad.
Shoot, dude. And so you gained also that you talk about a lot. And I mean, not just a little, but a lot of friggin' weight. You peaked at 260 pounds?
Yeah, so I played rugby at like 190 ish or something like that. But I always hovered around 200, and then just being on those pain meds and
How tall
bedridden
are
and
you?
not moving. 5'9", and I peaked at 260.
Wow, dude. So
Yeah.
so it was just from literally laying in bed or laying at home, popping pills and eating and not moving and feeling bad for yourself. And you just
hmm
gained all that weight.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Wow.
was just kind of like sitting in my sorrow, and I was like, all right, whatever. Like I can't do
Yeah.
anything. I'm just gonna sit here. Literally laid in bed for a couple months and just gained weight. And I wasn't eating the healthiest by any means.
Sure.
Not that my mom or dad was giving me bad food or anything like that. It's just like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, all right, let's go get some fast food. It's quick and easy. Also, I got to take a pain pill to go get in the car. So we go take pain pills, get in the car.
How old were you when this was all going on?
13 years ago. So 30, 27
Okay.
ish. Yeah.
So you were 27-ish, and so you were at your parents' house, like recuperating and dealing with all this shit because you obviously
Yeah.
couldn't work and you couldn't. I imagine because you just can't afford anything. So you're like, hey, mom, dad, like, I need a place to crash. I need you guys to help me. Um,
Yeah.
so you gained a crap load of weight. You're in
hmm
depression. You're eating painkillers like candy. How do you what what made you actually finally get the motivation to say, you know what, I'm sick of this. I need to be better.
Uh, I just kind of had like an epiphany one day. Like, basically, I was tired of being overweight, depressed, and having to rely on everybody else. I understood
Mhm.
that, like, because of my accident, I had to rely on my mom and my friends to help me and stuff like that and take care of me. But, like, I was gonna be damned if I was gonna let it happen again on my own terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I I'm the one I have the power to change the things that I can change. And then the biggest thing was, like, dude, I remember it's kind of fuzzy. I don't remember when, but I just remember going to like an AA meeting one time. Like I was drunk and I was just driving, and I called I called 911, but then I hung up because they're like, "Oh, we can't help you." And I was like, I mean, I was pretty drunk, so I don't really remember exactly. So I called 411, and I was like, "Hey," I like the operator. I was like, "I need an AA now. I need an AA meeting now." And so I went to the AA meeting at some church, and I got directed right to where I was supposed to go. And I just remember sitting in that AA meeting for the first time, and it's like you have the power to control the things that you can control, you know. And it just that kind of hit me. I was like, dude, I want to be. I swore off fast food. I swore off soda. I swore off
Mm.
alcohol for good. And I was just like, I don't ever want to be that guy again.
That's crazy, man. It's just finally had enough. It finally life got a hold of you and just said, "Man, knock it off." And those are kind of those moments where, like I talk about a lot. I think it's like God, finally just said, "Dude, enough." And it's
hmm
when you're in your lowest of lows, or you're in that Zen kind of state where you finally just you clear your mind, and that's when he comes in and goes, "Hey, I got a plan for you, and this ain't
hmm
it."
hmm
And it's either he whispers in your ear or you feel a tap on your shoulder and you go like, yeah, okay, I'm listening now. I'm gonna go this way. You're right. And
hmm
so you finally broke out of that and you woke
hmm
up. And so how did you get into your physical fitness again? Like, what was the beginning start of all of that?
So then 2015, I got on the Manhattan, Kansas fire department, and I was going through the academy, and I was thick-ish. I was 235, and dude, pouring concrete, I could throw like 200-pound forms up on my shoulder like they were nothing. I was like,
So
you know,
were you like 235 fat, or were you 235 like muscle?
235 muscle, like
That's a lot.
thick and muscle. Like
Yeah.
not like strongman kind of stuff, like thick
Yeah.
but strong. So, um, but so like when I was in the academy, I had like a heat exhaustion episode, And I mean, Kansas, when it's hot during the summer, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting down with one of my very first captains, and this is the thing that really changed. This was like day one for me that changed everything for me. He looked at me dead in the eye when I was just like sitting there, heavy breathing, drinking some more. I was like, "Oh, I just need electrolytes. You know, I'm fine." He's like, "Louie, you have to ask yourself, are you an asset? Or are you a liability?"
Mm,
And I was like, "I'm an asset." And he looked at me. He goes, "Louie, ask yourself, are you an asset or a liability?" And I was just like, "Fuck, that's deep." you know? And
yeah.
then I went home and later that evening, like I had full body cramps because I was so dehydrated and just all this stuff. Finished academy, did really well, and I got to work with that captain. And he always was like, "Hey, we're here for the community, and they deserve the best, and we deserve the best. My family deserves the best from you. Are
Yeah.
you an asset or a liability?" And I was like, "Shit, that hits home." You know?
Wow. So that little mini talk that he had with you really stuck with you. And
Yeah.
so did that start really making you understand like I need to be physically better?
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'm strong," but then, like, I'm gonna glass over a bottle before anybody else. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what good does that do for my crew, for the community?
Yeah.
And then I was like, "All right, well, I need to start working on my fitness." Like, I could play rugby, I could pour concrete, like, I'm strong, I could do all this stuff, but then it's like it doesn't relate
It's
to
different
the
beast
the fire
altogether.
ground. Right.
Yeah.
So then, like, I got a sweatshirt and I started running. It took me, like, a month to be able to run around the block and 2 blocks, like, the whole neighborhood, and then it
Yeah.
ended up being a mile and then 2 miles and stuff like that. It took forever, but then I was really seeing that, like, wow, he made a lot of sense. Like, I would get gassed, bro, on fires that I was supposed to be lit or I was supposed to do stuff like that.
It's such an amazing wake up call because I was the same way. Like when I started the fire service, like I'm a strong guy. I bench press over 300 pounds. Like I'm a strong dude. I know I can do this. And then as soon as you get in your gear and you move, you're gassed. And
Right.
I had that awakening at a fire where we did a good amount of work and we knocked down a lot of
Mhm.
fire first and then had to go up a ladder and extend a hose line up there to check the second floor. And as soon as I got up to the ladder, that's when all of a sudden that wall got right there. And I was gassed and I came down off the
Mhm.
ground ladder and I was like, I need to rehab. And I felt like shit because my partner who wanted to keep going, we were both put on the sideline to rehab and he didn't put us back in. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to be better
Mhm.
because one,
Mhm.
who wants to sit on the sidelines because you're gassed. And two,
Mhm.
like you're failing your department and your crew. So I don't want to be the first one out of a bottle. So
No.
that's when like I changed the way I worked out. Had that drive again. I didn't want to be a liability
Mhm.
and I want to be an asset on the fire ground. I don't want to be some schmuck sitting on the grounds because I can't
Mhm.
breathe right and I blow through my
Mhm.
bottle. Like it's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an amazing wake up call, and if no one's ever had it, it'll happen one day. If you think, especially I see at the academy, like sometimes they especially the younger ones, they think they can do it because they're on their call or volunteer department, and they do really well on those things, but they're not working as hard as we make them work. Like we make them
Mhm.
do a physical endurance drill. We do the 1,000 pound test afterwards. So they have to do evolutions till they get down 1,000 pounds. Like they're constantly working. And after
Mhm.
like the third set, man, some of these people are just ready to drop. And that's when I had that, like the same discussion you had with your captain. Are you a liability or are you an asset? Like, this is your wake up
Mhm.
call, man. Like, you need to focus on your physical fitness because you're not working like you do at your regular house. This is different now.
Mhm.
And this is the wake up
Mhm.
call. It's either going to be at a fire or it's going to be in training. I'd rather it happen in training than at a fire event where all of a sudden I fail my team or I fail my community because I physically can't
Mhm.
do the job because I didn't prepare for it. So,
Mhm.
how did you start your fitness journey? Like what kind of exercise and because you said you did rugby. So the workouts are definitely grueling, but I imagine they were kind of like short endurance drills and stuff. Where
Mhm.
you guys
Yeah.
how'd you
So,
get
like,
into it?
when we played rugby for K-State and stuff like that, we didn't really have it's just practice and stuff like that. So we didn't really I didn't do weights. I didn't do, gym training and stuff like that. It was more or less just practice. So that captain, Lou Kaler, we started with doing like P90X. We started doing stuff like that, and I was just like, man, I'm large and this hurts. This is a lot of pounding. Like it worked. Like I mean, the guys that could do it, it worked. It was awesome. And then
Yeah.
so I just was like, all right, well, let's try to go back to like the rugby stuff. Rugby, I ran. Well, when I could run, I could last a whole rugby game. Rugby game's like 80 minutes for the whole thing, and I would get to start and play the whole game. So I had to get back in rugby shape, so I just started running, and that kind of helped me get into it. But then, like Lou would also, he'd be like, "Let's do some functional training at the station." I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting gassed on these trainings, or on fires and stuff like that." So then he was really big about like, "All right, let's do some partner drags. Let's throw ladders." And I'm like, "What do you mean throw ladders?" Like, "Oh, okay, now I got to gear up, throw a ladder, which I can do." Well, let's do it 10 times. And it's like, okay, I see where this cardiovascular thing that you're talking about is. It's
Yeah.
not just strength for that one thing. It's like you got to have the cardio. And that's what he started teaching me. And then it was just kind of, it lit a fire in me of like, we deserve the community deserves the best. My captain and my other firefighter deserve the best as well because for their families. And then like I need to give them the best I can. So then like it's really running and functional fitness that brought me back into getting in shape.
I love that your captain was so cool about it though, like wants to see you succeed
Hmm.
and knew that you had that heart and that drive and he saw the best in you to make you get in shape and becoming the asset, not the liability. But he did it without making you feel like shit. I love that he didn't fat shame
Yeah.
and didn't, because I tell you from experience from my previous department, that wasn't like that. We were fat shamed. We were made to feel, incompetent or that we were weak and that we weren't good firefighters because we blew through a bottle or we sweat. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know how many times that he would bust our balls because we're sweating. Like, we fucking sweat, man. That's we were working hard. But
Hmm.
um, that didn't inspire us to want to do more. We just hated him more. Well, so
Yeah.
what an amazing captain for you to have to use that initiative and to be a team player and be like, hey, man, I want you to be better. We all are going to be
Hmm.
better together. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. It's been over 10 years I've worked with him. And look how far love and respect goes for your brother.
Amen, dude.
Like
Yeah.
I still to this day, if he called me right now, well, not because we're on this podcast, but here in like an hour, if he called me,
If you
I
needed to
would
take the call, I'd
drop
let you do it.
I would drop whatever I'm doing and drive to Kansas, wherever he is, and help him out if he ever needed anything. Like, but that just shows you what love and respect to give to another man or woman could do for you. But yeah, like you just said, like, oh, let's fat shame, or like how you were fat shamed or stuff like that. Like, I've been a part of other departments where, dude, that culture was shit, man. And like,
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna dog on me because I did a shitty job, and then now you're just gonna beat me down. Like, oh, that really does a fucking good job. Like, no,
Yeah.
like just if you come equal love and respect to build a guy up, you're gonna go a lot further. It's been over 10 years, and I still talk about him to this day.
And I love that, dude, because you're sitting right there, love and respect. Love thy brother. Love
Hmm.
thy neighbor. Like, that's in the Bible. It's what we preach. It's what people talk about.
Hmm.
Like, those are things to practice. I don't care if it's the fire service, if you're a postal worker, if you pick up trash, like you can still love one another and support one another and make them do
Hmm.
well. The negative side of it of shitting on them and fat shaming them and calling them names is literally just going to make this is going to beat them down and just going to resent you. Like, I don't
Yeah.
talk about that officer in that like you do. Like, if he was to call me
Hmm.
today, I'd be like, that's an automatic block, bro. Like, there's some,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
need from me? But
Yeah.
I love that experience, man. So he helped to get you in shape. You guys moved forward with getting your physical fitness to where it needed to be,
Hmm.
and then you pushed yourself to actually do more, and so you started competing as well. So what were you competing in?
Yeah. So it kind of all happened on accident. Like, so I was on shift in the firefighter challenge. I one day I was like, I should do something harder than what I'm doing, right? And then I was like, oh, let me look to see what this thing is. Somebody told me about it, and then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, register, and I was like, we got a call or something like that. Anyways, I ended up registering it on accident. I was like, oh shit, like what'd I just do? And then I did the Firefighter challenge, and that's really another big milestone in my life that really set the tone of like the toughest 2 minutes in sports. And I'm like, all right, let's go try this thing out. And I did it, and I was just like, I was like 315 or 320 for my very first time in my structured gear from work. And it just gave me a whole new outlook on functional fitness for the job and getting fit
Mm,
for the job. So now I've got a hobby that I want to get faster at that is all job and fireground related fitness activities in my gear that I use at work to make me more comfortable in my gear at work. And dude, it just took off. It took off
yeah.
now.
So I'm seeing here is that you spent the 9 years traveling the country doing the
Mhm.
firefighter challenge. 9 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's still going. I'm hoping this is gonna be my year to get my Lions Den now that I'm 40. I have to get it under sub 2 minutes. And so my fastest time so far is 150. That was a couple years ago when I was training a lot, but now being over 40, I gotta get under 2 minutes, and we're gonna go to California here in about a month, and I'm gonna hopefully get under that 2 minutes.
What is the Lion's Den?
So the Lions Den, it's like it's basically saying you're the elite of the not the elite, but you're an athlete. So Dr. Paul Davis, he's the one that created the Firefighter Challenge, and um, basically he was saying that if you're a firefighter and you could compete or you can complete this task under 2 minutes, you are an elite athlete. And basically, not a lot of people can do it. So they're like, all right, let's make this a Lions Den. It's like an elite club, basically. So if you get to, for under 40 years old, it's got to be under a minute, 40 seconds. And then for 40 and over, it's got to be under 2 minutes.
Okay.
So they basically were saying that, if you can do this, it shows that you're very fit and it's an elite thing. So I was like,
Wow. So
well,
that's your
I'll always
that's your
shoot for
bucket
it.
list, right? It's to
Yeah.
do the nice, man. I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
I've been chasing that 1 minute and 40-second time every time I've been doing this, and the closest I've been is a minute 50 with training very, very hard. But now that I'm older, I've learned a lot of stuff, and I've learned a lot about nutrition lately and
Mm.
fitness. So now, hopefully, this will be my year.
So tell us, what is the
Mhm.
firefighter challenge? What is the Lion's Den challenge?
So the Firefighter Challenge, it's you're in full when you do it as an individual. You're in full gear, SCBA, on air, mask and everything, helmet, gloves, everything. So when the whistle blows, you race against another competitor, and it's all the exact same course, no matter wherever it is. It's a 5-story tower. So when the whistle blows, you pick up a 45-pound hotel pack and you run up 5 flights of stairs. You can skip steps going up, and you have to put it down in a box, lean over a rail, and hoist up another hose roll that weighs 45 pounds. Put that in the box, and then run down, touch every step on the way down. And then you hit a Kaiser that weighs 100 pounds. You hit that back about 5 feet. And then you take off, and you have to run through some delineator cones. And then you pick up a charged hose line, and then you run it back about 100 feet through some saloon doors, spray and hit a target, drop the hose, and then go over and pick up a 6 foot, 175-pound dummy and drag him backwards 102 feet, all in less than 2 minutes, theoretically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got me at the stairs, man. Like I think as soon as I climb those stairs, I think I'd just be about done because
Yeah.
that's like because on air in full gear, man, moving as fast as you can. That's no
hmm
joke. And so your
Yeah.
fastest time for that is what?
150.
That's
So
impressive, dude.
for me, there's guys out there doing it my age around 135, 137, which is awesome. Those guys are doing great. They're D1 athletes, they're football players. They can really, really hit it.
Yeah.
They've done really good. So yeah.
Dude, that's amazing, man. That's still just your time of doing that. That's and where you've come from with addiction and the motorcycle accident to be able to be doing this is such
Mhm.
great inspiration and such drive. And you're not done yet. I love that you still got that goal. You're
Mhm.
not done yet, man. I want to hit that goal, and that's
Mhm.
keeps you going. And so you said that you got down to a shredded 179. So you were 260, and now you're at the time, I guess you were at 179. shredded. I'm like, and I saw pictures. Is you got an Instagram page called War Within, right?
No, it's just Louis War Within.
Louis
That's
War
my page.
Within, and
Uh-huh.
you showed the pictures. You also did a bodybuilding competition, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, so you were doing the firefighter challenge, and all of a sudden you're getting into pro bodybuilding. Well, tell me about
Yeah.
that.
So I was turning 40, and I really like doing wildland stuff. And I asked the wife, I was like, hey, my wife Kaylin, I was like, hey, could I quit my job and be a smoke jumper? And she's like, no, absolutely not. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do something else hard. What else? I just wanted a new challenge, and I was like, to me, myself, I was like, what shows the most self love, respect, and discipline that you can do, And I was like, I really like bodybuilding. I've always liked it. It's been motivating. So when I turned 40, I was like, I want to do a bodybuilding show. So I did one last year and I got hooked. So this year I was like, I'm gonna go all in. It still counts as my 40th year because I'm still 40, you know. And I'm a natural pro classic physique bodybuilder. I got my pro
Wow.
card just a couple weeks ago here in Colorado. It's I've learned so much about it though. Self-love, self-respect, discipline. Like when I coached myself this time. Last year I had a coach and he got me on stage. I did great. I took what he taught me, and this year I just really dialed it in and went 110%, and I love it. I love it, man.
That is so cool. And also, it takes a lot of balls to be wearing that little Speedo in front of everybody.
Yeah. Well, the guys talk shit about it at work. Some guys do. My crew, dude, they were so supportive, which was awesome. But some guys would talk shit at work, and I'm like, all right, let's take our shirts off. You want to keep talking shit? They're, oh, no, 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 I'm joking. I'm joking. I was like, fuck, all right.
Oh
Shut up,
man, I
David.
definitely, yeah, I couldn't do that, dude. Like,
Yeah,
one, there'd be a lot of shaving involved as well. So,
yeah,
but that's,
yeah.
dude, it's just that I love that you're hitting these goals and you're striving for what you want to do in life, and to remain so physically active. And so you also talk about some other nutrition side of things as well. So you have a business as well, the Fit Shop,
Mhm.
that's to help people, and you talk about biohacking. So what is biohacking?
So, okay. Again, when I got into the bodybuilding, I was like, all right, how do I do the best I can, right? Well, dude, this job's always trying to kill us. Let it be from the lack of sleep, the calls, the people, all the bullshit, right? And I'm like, so in my old department, after Manhattan, I worked a 24 on, 48 off. And we ran like 24 to 27 calls on shift. So I didn't really sleep. My testosterone was 250 points roughly. So
Yeah,
it's
wow,
super, super low. And I was like,
yeah,
all right, well, everybody in the fire service talks about getting on testosterone, which I think is helpful for people that need it. But my wife and I were like, I want to do it natural. Like, let's try natural, see where I can get. So I started
sure.
educating myself on how to increase my testosterone and stuff like that. So we really looked into how to biohack my body with taking natural supplements, nutrition, the way we work out, the way I eat, the way I sleep, the timing, all that stuff. And I got my testosterone up to 1017 2 days after my natural bodybuilding show last year. So
Wow,
like I
wow,
biohacked my body to be able to do shift work. Now I'm doing a 48-96, so a little bit more sleep, a little bit more rest when I can.
mm-hmm.
But like we just dove deep into it. It's like, well, if the job's trying to kill me, what do? I control the things I can control, right? And take them
Yeah.
one day at a time. So we looked into all the markers, the supplements, and we did the education and stuff like that. I came up with a protocol, and now I'm able to get my natural pro bodybuilding card as a first responder. Like it's kind of legit. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be proud of, dude. Doing it all
Yeah.
natural, because I talk about that as well. Like I've definitely dived into the TRT.
Hmm.
Myself, my stuff dropped dramatically from my previous job from the stress, and when I took my levels, like wow, I'm low, and
Hmm.
so I do the TRT replacement right now because it was something I desperately needed,
Hmm.
and I feel really good. I've
Good.
always tried to be my best. I've always tried to eat healthy. I mean, I'm no bodybuilder, so I don't have a strict diet regimen. But
Hmm.
I think it's an interesting topic as well. Is that when we do our physical fitness, especially as firefighters, it's not to gain a perfect physique. It's to be physically fit to be able to do the job. You're going to obviously
Mhm.
gain muscles where you need, your muscles are going to develop. And if you want to continue to develop those, that's awesome. But the end goal is to be at your peak performance to do the job,
Yeah,
not to look like a bodybuilder. I think some people confuse
exactly.
that, right? Some people really do. Like
Right.
they get in the gym, like I'm very guilty. I love working out my arms. I love working out my chest, but I also know I need to concentrate on my lung capacity. I got to do the actual work of like,
Mhm.
row machines and stair machines and get on the bike and do the burpees and sit up, all that shit. And,
Right.
I think that's an important thing that people need to know is that you don't have to have a bodybuilder physique to be physically fit.
No, and bro, like you were just saying that when this is the biggest things that like put or was like a light switch for me. Like I went and did 9/11 stair climbs. I would travel the country with my wife. Like one year we did like I think 5 or 6 of them or something like that. We did the race for air in Seattle. And I would go do these stair climbs. And like when I first started back in the day, dude, I was gas. And I'm like, how is this a memorial? And I am like, dude, I'm shit for days. All
Yeah.
right, so now how do I get better at being in my gear for work? Like I know I'm not going to be climbing 110 flights, but what if I had to, And so like
Yeah.
it brought in that of like, all right, how can I get fit for the job? That's the cardio. Okay, now doing like bringing it back to like the bodybuilding stuff, like, dude, there's guys in there crushing weights, right? Like, oh, let's just get big and jacked. Well, you know, you can only get so big and then you don't have the mobility to be able to
Yes.
function, right? So like it's a fine line of fitness for the job. We want to get as strong as we can without us getting as big as we can. But you also got to be able to run, bro. You got to be able to run a 5K and not gas out, because your heart's got to be able to take it and you need to be able to last for your crew and last that bottle. So then like when I would go do stair climbs as I got older and better and more fit, I could go do a stair climb and then, like, yeah, I'm gassed. Like it's taxing, but like I've been training for it. I go
Yeah.
do the combat challenge, like I'm zapped for a second, but like once I get that oxygen back in my quads, I can walk. Okay, now relay that over to the fire ground. If you're RIT or if you're on a hose line and you need to go punch into the second floor for something, right? Okay, now can I do that? Damn right I know I can. Shit, I can do it for like a good 10 to 20 minutes, guarantee, and then go back out, have a little rehab, and go do it again. The
Yeah.
best win is that's for the community. So if there's somebody out there needs a rescue, I'm there, bro. And
Yeah.
I'm there with my crew, and like no matter what, I know in my head I can go and I'm there.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great points all around is that, you need to make sure that you can have that lung capacity and do the job. And like you said, for the victims, for our crews, for our community, like
Hmm.
that's legit why we have to do it. And
Hmm.
I love all of that. And so you have the fit shop
Hmm.
and the fit shop is everything we just talked about, right? So you,
Yeah.
you, you, you are giving people help to stay physically fit or if they need to get on that journey.
Yeah, so what the fit shop is, I wanted to create something to where I could give my knowledge back. And I really have a passion for nutrition. That's where I took it as a natural pro bodybuilder that like I did that naturally and you can't cheat that. Like, there's not really anything I was taking that got me to where I did without the effort, right? So
Yeah.
chicken breast, rice, you know what I'm saying, steak and sweet potatoes, like that stuff works. So like what I found was that like the nutrition is the thing that we're lacking. Like so
Mm,
guys are on shift just cranking weights and getting huge. Okay, it's awesome. Like then they're gonna go pound some ice cream. No, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that like
I love
if
ice
your
cream.
nutrition's not there, the all these heavy liftings and stuff like that, what good are we doing? Like let's become athletes, like we should be professional athletes for the community. And if you take care of yourself, give yourself a little like the thing that I came out of being sober and the depression and all that stuff is just having self-love and respect for myself. Okay, for
Mm,
self-love and respect for myself, I'm going to get my nutrition on point. So then that way when I do my fitness, I'm going to be that more fit for the job and then all of my hobbies. And if I look good doing it, it's just a perk of it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love it. Well, I could tell. I mean, you have the pickled eggs behind you.
yeah, oh yeah, we got 14 chickens outside. These are water glass because we got so many eggs. Yeah.
Like, so I was reading that you have your like your a beautiful, apparently sounds gorgeous where you were at. You're in the mountainside. You got ranch farm living. So I think that's great. You're kind of secluded and you're doing homesteading.
Yeah, my wife, we just learned how, or she just learned how to make protein sourdough. So
Oh,
she's been hooking it up with that.
I'm gonna have
She's
to
got a
hit
little
you up for
home,
that, dude, because my wife's
dude.
been making sourdough on her own, and it's been friggin' delicious. She's making bagels. She made some
Oh,
dessert bread with a sourdough chocolate with cherries in it, and it's
hmm
friggin' delicious. And she can't make
Just
enough of it.
tell her basically to add 2 scoops of protein powder next time she makes it.
Actually, she actually has been doing it. Now that we're talking about it,
Yeah,
because I always see the container of protein next
yeah,
to when she's doing it. So that's what she's using. She's using the chocolate
yeah.
protein.
Dude, it's
So
awesome.
we're already
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, right
So
now we got a fire going,
that's
because it just
awesome.
rained, so it's cold. We're supposed to get like maybe 20 inches of snow tomorrow.
What? You
Yeah,
are
bro.
definitely in the mountains, man.
Yeah, and so I got the tractor ready. I got the firewood stacked up. The fire's going right now, and it just got done raining, so it's a little chilly out. It's beautiful out
That's
here.
awesome. I love that, dude. What a nice, like, just relaxing, meditating type of setting, man. That's fantastic. Really eases your mind.
Yeah.
So you also, because I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. So you're also
Mhm.
on NextRung. So
Yeah.
what's your position and what you do at NextRung?
So I'm the president of the board. I've been doing that for a few years now. Uh, Basically, I started out as just a member at large, and I was on the peer support team back when we started and stuff like that. It's been about 8 or 9 years I've been with NextRung on the peer support team, and so now that I'm the president, we just kind of we handle the just the things that we don't want the staff, or I guess we're there for the staff and stuff like that. So I more or less help out Wednesdays on the peer support team.
And I talk about it a lot on the program every time I end it and talk about how you've
Mhm.
got operators on standby. So you guys work shifts
Yeah.
for NextRung, right? Everyone has a shift
Mhm.
they sign up for, and that's their duty. That's their on call, if you will. When
Mhm.
the phone rings, it goes to that person, right?
So we have a 1-800 Google number that we all have onto our phone through an app. And basically, so today or on Wednesday when it's my day, I make sure all the notifications are on and stuff like that. And if somebody calls it or texts that number, the people that are on that day, it's like a tree, phone call. So if it'll hit the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, and if somebody can't pick it up, they got an automatic response, and then it blasts out to the team like, "Hey, missed a call. Can anybody get on that right now?" And that way, if I'm on a call on shift and I can't get to my phone, somebody else is going to pick it up on that crew. But if the 5 people can't pick it up, then we have other people that will step in and help us out and stuff like that.
So you've got
So
5 people on the daily to
yeah,
help with that.
roughly we have 5 on the daily, 24/7, from East Coast to West Coast. We kind of split it up. Caleb, he's our he's the one that coordinates the peer support team, and so he kind of did a really good job splitting it up between East Coast and West Coast because sometimes, you know, somebody's asleep on one end or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so when somebody texts or calls, is it just a conversation, or do you start doing some legwork for them and help them get some resources that maybe they don't know is available?
Well, so bro, most of the time it's just to talk. Like
Hmm.
that's what we are. We're there just for you to vent, to talk. If you run a bad call and you can't talk to your crew member about it, or you can't talk, like, say it's midnight. You don't want to go wake up your officer because you had a bad call and you're like, man, that really shook me up. Like, and you can't get it out of your head, just send us a text, like,
Mm,
did I do everything? All right. Are you trained? Did you do everything you're trained to do? We just talk one on one. It's just peer support like you would get from your normal peers. And then
yeah.
we do that for like a day or two, if we can handle it. But then if that's like not handling it, enough, we could get you in touch with a counselor in your area. And it's all free of charge. So that way we have like about 8 counseling sessions that you can get with a counselor over Zoom or phone call and stuff like that. And then if it needs to go another step above that, then we'll talk about that and all those things, you know. But we'll try to help coach people like, all right, you know, I'll talk to you, I'll text you here and there. I'm like, hey, can you reach out to your EAP? Oh, I don't want to. All right, I
Mm,
got you. Let's keep it internal with me. You know what I mean? But if people can use their EAP, they don't even maybe they don't know that their department has a peer support team, you know?
yeah.
So
And the everyone who works for NextRun that's on that peer support, is there training involved for everybody who's in charge of being on that phone line?
yeah, everybody that's on the peer support team's been through peer support training. We're gonna try to eventually put like our own next rung peer support class together. Caleb and Blake have been working on that because Blake will go around and talk a lot about peer support, and people ask us to help start up their peer support or like kind of go over their peer support teams and stuff like that for local small departments. So we're looking at trying to eventually start something like that, which would be kind of nice to have our own internal training going on that we
Mm.
can offer up to other people too, you know, virtually and stuff like that.
Do you know the numbers roughly of how many calls or how many texts or how many people reach out on a regular?
Um, I know when like all my notifications are on around the holidays and stuff like that. Well, I don't know the exact numbers. I know Blake posts them up on social media sometimes and stuff like that, but it's hundreds, you know, like a lot. There's a lot of calls that come in. And a lot of them like since I used to be an alcoholic, sometimes people will kick over alcohol subjects and stuff like that to me, you know.
Mm,
Like I remember one guy, I was giving him tips and tricks to quit drinking because of the stuff I did to quit drinking, and he's like, you know, wow, that really helped out. Thank you. Like you never thought of it that way. So I gave him
yeah.
my point of view, just as a peer support, and it worked, you know, which was huge.
Yeah, that's great. And it's 24/7. It's they can do it any
Hmm.
day, anytime. Like you said, they don't have to wake up anybody else. They can literally just pick up their
Hmm.
phone, text next rung. And what is
Hmm.
the number if you have it on hand for
This
next
is bad.
rung?
I don't have it on me. The number,
I know
I
I have
have the
my
number on my phone.
I usually have my card with me, and I misplaced my card, but you know what I'm gonna do? Since I have my trusty computer here, I'm gonna do it for us, so that way, again, I'd be remiss if I did not bring this up and we did not give the number to
Yeah.
everybody who needed it. So, if anybody's curious, you can text support to 833-698-7864. That is text support to 833-698-7864. And they have the resources there. Professional counseling, text counseling to 833-698-7864. And if you're needing professional treatment for addiction as well, you can text treatment to 833-698-7864. So there are the numbers right there. If anyone is needing to reach out to Next Rung, because you guys are doing great work, and I love talking. I mean, man, I love
Thanks,
seeing
man.
you guys at FDIC. It was great to see the whole group there, and it's you know
Yeah.
what's crazy is just the outreach that you guys are doing, the work that you guys are doing, but it's so popular. You guys have
Mhm.
done a really great job, and Blake and has really done a fantastic job with getting on the ground and really spreading the awareness. But it's like a really popular booth at
Yeah.
FDIC. There were so many people coming by, buying shirts, getting stickers and hats, and because I mean, we're firefighters, we love swag, we love shirts, we
Hmm.
love and so they've done such a great job with marketing that to help raise funds at a nonprofit organization because the
Hmm.
background of Next Rung was originally going to be a T-shirt company. And then
Yeah.
he's like, you know what? I'm using this power for good. I'm going to use this marketing for good. And I'm going to
Hmm.
start this platform to develop Next Rung. And I love the
Yeah.
marketing is working to make sure that you're developing funds to keep it going.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been awesome, man, because also you think about it, like when it comes down to peer support, doesn't matter if you're a firefighter, an engineer, a captain, a chief, dude, we all need help. We all need to talk to somebody. So it really brings us all down to the same level. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if
Yeah.
you got 20 years on or if you got 1 year on, you know? We all need to talk to somebody. And that's what I think normalizes it is like it's okay to not be okay. Let's just talk. Like I care about you. Love and respect again, right there. You know, like let's just talk.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. It normalizes everybody. So then that's where like Next Strong, we try to share and try to preach about it and get it out there because we just want people to know about us so that they can reach out if they need help. you know?
How did you get on NextRung?
My buddy Dennis, he was doing the stair climbs with me, and he's down in Texas, and he called me up one day. He's like, "Hey, you want to be a part of Next Run?" I was like, "Are you a part of it?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, well, sure, but then tell me what it is, you know?" And then
Yeah.
he told me what it was, and I was like, "Dude, okay, for sure, I'll be a part of it." So,
That's
and then
awesome.
like, yeah, back then, when I was doing the firefighter challenge and stuff, I was like, "Hey Blake, can I do like the fitness stuff?" You know, because that's big when firefighters were starting to do fitness companies and stuff. And I was like, "Hey man, I'll travel the country, talk about Next Run on every event that I go to. I'll put you on my helmet." And he's like, "Yeah, I can't really pay you for anything." I was like, "I don't need you to pay anything for me. Can I have a free sticker and I'll put it on my helmet?" He's like, "Sure, here you go." And then I'd go talk about peer support every time I went to an event, and I was doing like the physical fitness stuff. I talked to people about nutrition and fitness and ask them, just like Luke Kaler said, you know, like, "Hey, are you an asset or you a liability?" And they're like, "Oh, you know, I'm an asset." I'm like, "Okay, let's go prove it." You know, they're, "Oh, I can't do that." "Wait, you can't do the challenge?" Like, "What do you mean you can't do it?" "Oh, I'm not in shape." I'm like, "Bro, did you glass over a bottle before your officer?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's talk about nutrition. Let me help you out. Like, what do you want to talk about?" You know?
Yeah. I love that, man. And so as we're winding down for you, what can you give for people who are struggling? What's some advice, especially for addiction, since that you've had to struggle to get through two parts of it, from drinking to
Mhm.
painkillers? Um, any advice for anybody out there?
Bro, the biggest thing is just to remember this too shall pass. No matter what you're going through, let it be addiction, depression, whatever you're going through in life, this too shall pass. And control the things that you can control. Control the controllable. You know what
Mm,
I mean? Don't give somebody energy that you can't control. It's just waste of energy. So practice self-love, practice self-discipline, focus on yourself, and just take it one day at a time.
I love it, man. That's a great message for sure. And then if anyone's looking to get a hold of you for fitness and questions about how to, honestly, even the firefighter challenge,
Yeah.
you have the fit shop. Is that where they should go to, or how else can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. If you go to www.thefitshopcoaching.com, I've got my work number on there, an email, all that stuff. You can get a hold of me. There's a new client form if you're interested. So I'm trying to take about 8 to 10 clients just so I can give you like full dedication, you know, like it's not like a monthly plan. It's like a full nutrition plan. I'll dive in deep into like your life, your fitness. I'll take a 10,000 foot view and, you know, just take a look and help you out.
I love it, dude. And what's your email if anyone wants to get a hold of you for this stuff?
It's Louie Louie at thefitshopcoaching.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate this. It was a great conversation. And again, Next Rung is something that's near and dear to both of our hearts. Blake Stennett and the whole team has been doing great work. You can also visit them online, nextrung.org. And again, I have those numbers for you for peer support, 833-698-764. Just text support to that number and they're going to help you. Same thing with treatment. If you need treatment, it's text treatment to 833-698-7864. And for counseling, 833-698-764. Can't say that number enough because that's what you need to get a hold of. So Blake, that's who runs it. You are
Mhm.
Louie. Louie, I really appreciate you so much for being on this program with me. And man, what an amazing story and how you could come from something that happens, like the tragic of that motorcycle accident and that the injuries that you got, and
Mhm.
then overcoming that, and then doing the fitness challenges, dude. That's crazy.
Mm. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you having me on here. The biggest thing out of all that, out of the depression, the alcohol, all that thing, every morning I wake up, life is a privilege, you know, and life's beautiful. Because when I was an alcoholic, I was blacked out. I couldn't see life. And, you know, my accident, now life's a privilege. So I can
Yeah,
walk. I'm happy to be alive and be here. So no matter what, when I wake up every day, life's beautiful and life's a privilege.
I love it, man. Don't let the hard days win, and you've
Never
shown that
will.
and you're not going to let them win. I appreciate you very much, Louie. So with that being said, so I love to end my program with, you know what I'm saying, right? You know, this little thing up here on my hat. So you all stay safe, be well, and here it comes. Nozzle Tov.
Nozzle Tov.
Nice job, Louie. Thank you very much.
Okay.